So, I just came from a meet and greet with MP Miss Kerryne James, and I can only describe it as a shining moment for Miss James. She came across as someone who was well-informed, well-intentioned, and showed a very compassionate side. She was candid about some of the difficulties in getting her job done. She was interactive with her audience, and they were there to cheer her. It was something that the diaspora was looking forward to, especially people of her constituency. And Miss Kerryne James did not disappoint. She talked about her faith and how it gives her the energy and the drive to continue in some of the darkest moments that she would encounter while trying to do her job. Great cheers from our audience. It seems like Miss Kerryne James enjoyed the experience as much as her audience was looking forward to this meet and greet. Nothing else can be said but kudos to Miss James. She delivered and the audience appreciated it. So here it is. Take a look at some of the highlights from today's meet and greet. Okay, so we're here with St. John's Massive. Things are getting ready to start. Miss Kerryne James is in the house.
His 30th anniversary award presentation, and that Minister James was going to be the guest of honor. One of the members of NDC New York chapter suggested to me to mobilize the people of St. John to support our beloved ministers. Thank you, Sister Denise. I immediately called orally. Put your hands together and help me welcome MP Kerryne James.
Really honored and privileged to be the reason why so many of you came to one location this evening. It's a Friday evening, and trust me, like myself, I know some of you might have worked so hard for the past week and weeks, and you could have been anywhere else today, tonight, relaxing yourself, detoxing yourself from a hard week's work, but for you to be here, and I am the reason. I am very much honored and humbled by that. It is my first time since being in office and becoming the Member of Parliament that anyone has really done something of that magnitude for me. And I'm a bit emotional about it, but I wouldn't cry tonight. Most persons we have been able to eradicate at a percentage about 20% of the pit latrines and inhumane outdoor facilities that persons had as a bathroom, a makeshift bathroom. Almost 20% of that have been eradicated in terms of improving the lifestyle of our residents there, and they're happy. We have also been able to give outreach and support to our elderlies, persons who would have been in sectors like the fishing sector, farming, those persons who were entrepreneurs in their prime and perhaps maybe never had an NIS, never was paying NIS, or their employer was not paying the NIS, so they don't have a pension to get and they're living destitute. So we have been able to sift out those persons and road networks. What I have inherited when I got into office was a lot of footpaths into people's private dwelling and a lot of back roads into people's private land and there was no real interest paid into actual road connectivity for communities. And so What you see happening, for example, with the closure road is as a result of the neglect that has been happening. And there's a lot of other roads like that that are nearing to collapsing. We have the Mondo Road that is in Concord, that's on the southern part of the parish of St. John. That road has collapsed as well, and we have finally been able to mobilize the Ministry of Infrastructure to give us the support to addressing that road. But because of the what happened with closure, that project has been put on pause for now. Obviously, we are going into the budget timeline now, so no new projects would start. I don't foresee any starting right now, but definitely within the first few months in the new year, Mondo Road will be completed, and that's where going up to the medical center in Grenada. Many vehicles have gone over there. Thankfully, no one died in the process, and there's a school higher up. So we've been able to construct that retaining wall there, and we are going to widen the road and put adequate parking for an ambulance to be stationed there in collaboration. In collaboration with the Ministry of Health, we are also going to be doing some renovation on the medical center as well in Grand Roy in the new year. It cannot be explained. You just have to just come and experience it. Right? And so what may work for other constituencies, I know definitely, because I've walked the length and breadth more than once before, during and after the elections. I know my constituency and I know what would work outside. Sometimes it may not work for us. But one of the key things that we have been failing to do and improve as a community is the cultural aspect of it, and to put in place a proper plan. But you have been able to experience different things. You have been able to make a life, make a living for yourself out here. And if we can just come together and just have something that is robust, so persons who are interested in the cultural aspect, persons who have interest in the sports, persons who have interest and connection with education and can give our people the opportunity to come out of Grenada and experience something, get an education that they can come back and develop. That is what we want as a government, not only as for me.
I'm no longer a fisherman, but I still assist guys. The reason why I'm here actually is to assist someone with 2 boats right now to move to Grenada. They have never seen the US before, but was funded with a loan. And these guys has big loans to pay back. They take a risk to make sure we have food security and sustainability for home. I don't know I haven't heard any word recently on what is being done, but I hope something is being put in place for the fishermen. And one more thing I have to say. There is someone within our country home who has been run from Barbados, he has been run from Tobago. He sits on a board in Grenada of the airport authority. So when the guys from Guav want to export fish, even if it's top grade fish, it sits on airports in Trinidad because it's top grade fish and spoiled because it comes to the US. And I know of it personally because I've seen the files. They have said I've been educating the fishermen home because I've been traveling, but I'm for my people. And the reason why I'm so powerful among this party, these young guys has been propelling Grenada. There's a lot have been happening with us. The older folks may not know it, but they so want that power now, but what you guys are doing is amazing. There's a lot of things that you young guys have been changing for us. And I want to say that I believe in you guys. And then my profession home was something of keeping Grenada safe. I started a program, Catch and Sail, with a lot of young guys fighting and stuff. I was one of the officers assisting in Karakou. My heart suffered from the deep burial hit. I lost 4 of my boats. I never got a refund or anything. And I started a program assisting some kids home, and I was victimized by someone, Fred Kerryne, while being in the force home. I have made major success home in terms of security. for Grenada.
To talk to them while we get our documents in order. So fingers crossed. We are hoping that before the year end we'll be able to submit all of our documentation. And you know, sometimes people take Christmas breaks and all of that, so we don't have control over when they would accept it, even if we would be able to present all of the documentation. But our hope is that the ban will not be action in the new year. And I forgot to mention that has been one of my biggest contribution back to my community and constituency. To date, I've given over $300,000 in cash as well as equipment to help my fishermen in St. John better their craft, help them be much more safer. And out of the consultations that we've had, there was a gentleman, a young man yourself, I don't remember his name now. He gave an option of some type of hooks that we can use as well, to just as low-hanging fruits that can really tick off the boxes for some of the things that we will have, the protocol that they have in place. And we will be giving maybe in January, after the budget is read, we will be giving support to all of our fishermen in St. John. That support to outfit their hooks, to have the circular hooks and something hooks, yes. I don't know the correct name, but I know it was a good idea at the fishermen craft, and I said, all right, that's the next best thing for the fishermen. So we are going to be giving them that support to change the hooks on their boats. So thank you for that. It will be nice to have a conversation with you thereafter off record, because if you know things, don't hold the information, it makes my work hard. So.
What I wanted to say, I mean, awesome job so far. I've been a fan of yours for quite some time, and you represent the youth very, very well. We are enamored by the presence, and especially you being female. You know, as you said, it resonated with me that it's going to be 10 times harder, and you're going to be showing up 100% of the week. All right, so some of the things that you said that I wanted to kind of highlight. You talked about some of the projects as relates to road and such, and you said that the budget cutting and stuff, so you know, we ain't getting no money in for the year. But I was concerned about the road, I don't know the name, I think it's Mumblet and Mabuya, so the original main road for Guav, where we have to go up Mount Nesbitt. Now, we've all been following me online, I have an old piece of car and I can't go big. So, with that, you know, one time I was pleasantly surprised to see the road fully break, right? Because sometimes I used to take another thing. But outside of that, I'm wondering if we do have any sort of plans to really kind of address that road. I understand that the Mones Beach Road has brought some sort of traffic, some sort of businesses and such, you know, within that particular area. But of course, we're talking about the exacerbation of the vehicles, you know, the gas getting price high, and just for my car's sake, yes.
Thank you. By the way, you taught me and you, so while we were there, you taught me there. So yeah. So you made a very valid point. Mabuya is one of the roads that we have done as a major infrastructure. It was a part of the Western Main Road project when we got into office that we want to do. But we have been, we had to confirm and finalize the design and the scoping. So we have been able to do that part. One of the things that I wanted to add to that part, because I am saying, if you have an opportunity to make the connectivity better and more modern, you should jump on that and do that. So a lot of people on morning times will take that route to jog and to run and to walk and so in the evening and stuff. So I wanted to have a boardwalk or something so that we can allow these people to walk and run in a safer environment. I've shared some of the plans that I had with Prime Minister, and he did promise to get back to me with the designs to accommodate that coming. But of course, with everything that happened, Molyneux Road as a major road, and then we have closure now, and then we have some other roads happening now with the G-Cruise project on the south. The focus have been diverted a little bit, but the commitment is there, and it will be budgeted for in this budget as well. So next year we will see some movement on that.
My name is Denise Roberts. With the emergence of climate change and global warming to an extent, although a certain president doesn't believe in that, but the reality tells a different story. My question to you is, we have seen that weather events have become more frequent and more severe. What kind of measures are being put in place to reduce vulnerability to flooding?
Thank you. That's a very big one, because my ministry is not placed with the title or the responsibility to really do the physical things, but we are there to do the necessary policy framework and agendas that would fit us to get access to the financing. So what we have been able to do, based on how we have seen hurricanes have been coming to our parts of the world so unprecedented, and with the heavy rainfalls, I don't know if many of you was watching what happened in Grenada. We've experienced in 1 year, we experienced a drastic drought, we've had excessive rainfall, and a hurricane, right? And so we have a couple of documentations underneath the United Nations framework for climate change, the UNFCCC, whereby under the Paris Agreement, where we have a responsibility as nations to have these policy documents that will guide us as to what it is that you're doing tangibly in your respective countries to ensuring that you can mitigate and adapt to climate change. Two such documentations is the NDC document, and not the National Democratic Congress, but the Nationally Determined Contribution document that deals with more so mitigation. And mitigation is how do you prepare and you mitigate against climate change having a tremendous impact or tremendous effect to your GDP. And then we have the NAP document, which is the National Adaptation Plan, that we also have, and we have also been able to revise that document. Underneath that documentation, we have been able to add a new program of action, which is a subheading, another section of the document that deals with climate mobility. So persons who are in low-lying areas, coastal areas, that are almost like on the front line to having the effects of heavy flooding or the colors with the sea. Oh my God.
Rising sea levels.
Rising sea levels also coming in. On the coastal areas, we can move them inland. So we have been able to have that documentation there for the access to climate financing. But more locally, within our budget framework, if you would look at the budget is open for public consumption. You can get a copy of the budget online. Once you go to gov.gd, you will see the budget by ministries. There's a breakdown section under the Ministry of Infrastructure that deals with flood mitigation in spell. This is spelled out there. There's a certain quota. So communities and constituencies that are badly affected, it aids and acts as a response mechanism when it does happen. What we are wanting to do is to move from just being reactive to proactive. So we want to ensure that we have better early warning systems that can tell us and predict more. A lot of the technology is out there and has been working for other countries. We just never had the resources to implement them and to have access to them ourselves. But we are working towards getting the financing and making new friends that can help us with the early warning systems. So coupled with us funding our own bill, as you will see most times, we are the ones, small and developing states are on the front line. We are the ones that feel it the most. We have very special circumstances as opposed to the big dogs out there, but we are the ones as small governments, low limited budgets that always put the biggest and the first dollar towards mitigation and adaptation.
You as a government minister partners with them, gives them more credibility. You help them, they help you. So
quid pro
might
quo.
want to look into that.
So there's a lot, but sometimes because where the funding goes through, it becomes challenging because sometimes government would get funding where these same NGOs get funding through the Green Climate Fund, the Global Environment Facility and the likes, and they see it as the country getting double money as a competition. So sometimes they might have a lot, but really and truly same money circling, or they would just take from somebody else and give it to somebody, but there's no new money. So it's a lot of nuances that we have to go through.
Keep pushing, keep pushing.
Thank you, baby.
Anybody else?
I'm good.
You could not just sit that
I am blessed. I am blessed. Often, sometimes I feel as though the crown is very heavy, but I am blessed. And I met, before I took the flight to come up here, I visited, we have a centenarian, we have a centenarian, Centurion, sorry, thank you, that will be celebrating her birthday tomorrow, Saturday. And because I would not be there, I ensured that I went before. So even if I was late for the flight, I rushed to the house on Wednesday. And in my conversations with her, I asked her, I said, you need to give me the remedy to how you have been able to live so long. I mean, her teeth is intact, her senses is sharp, and she's well alert. You would not believe that she is 100. And she said she loved to dance, and she danced in her youth, and she used to party, and she loved to enjoy herself. And even if she had worked hard and had children and all of that, she had a partner who understood that she loved life and she loved to dance. But the most significant thing that she said to me, that really stuck with me, was that she has been content with life, And so sometimes when I feel as though, and in the quiet moments coming up on the flight, I really contemplated upon that and I introspected, and sometimes we tend to talk and worry about, we have so much to do and we have to get so much done, and so much people come to us. We don't want to fail, we don't want to give up, we don't want to think. But we fail to stop and pause and realize and say, God, thank you for giving me that responsibility. Thank you for giving me that assignment.
Looks like it's party time.